It's Friday, September 6th. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Some residents of Clarendon have welcomed the announced state of public emergency in that parish. Prime Minister Andrew Holness told the country Thursday that the state of public emergency declared for Clarendon was overdue, but the necessary resources had to be put in place first. He said the government is cognizant that it's stretching its resources with several SOEs across the island at the same time, but the security forces have already calculated the challenges.
Yes, I'm always concerned about stretching our resources to the limit. But in management, sometimes you recognize that you don't know your true limit until you have tested it. And the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force continue to prove that they can stand up to the challenges. But we also know that there are hard limits in terms of human resources.
A state of public emergency is also in effect in St. Catherine. The emergency security measure will initially be for 2 weeks, after which parliamentary approval must be sought for an extension. Mr. Holness assured that capacity is being beefed up continuously through a vigorous recruitment policy for the JCF and the JDF. He pointed to the National Service Corps, which is being administered by the JDF, and the JCF's recently announced new recruitment strategy.
We continue to expand our capacity. We have a very robust recruitment policy, both in the JCF and the JDF. You may recall that 2 years ago we launched the Jamaica Service Corps, which is administered by the Jamaica Defense Force, and that has been working very well. Recently, the Commissioner has announced the new recruitment strategy of the JCF. So we are trying to expand, but even though we expand, the expansion doesn't come into effect right away. In other words, it takes time to train, and then you have to give them some experience. And that process is ongoing. We are able to do this today precisely because we have invested in increasing the capacity of both the JDF and the JCF. I'm not telling you that it is not without sacrifice and challenge.
Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson said the SOE was necessitated by the escalating crime levels in the parishes. He said Clarendon has recorded 100 murders since January, while St. Catherine South has recorded 91 and St. Catherine North 66.
Already, since the start of 2019, the Clarendon Division has recorded the second highest number of murders at 100. The St. Catherine South Police Division has seen an increase in murders of 50% over last year's number to currently sit at 91 murders since the beginning of the year. St. Catherine North Division, while experiencing a reduction of 14% over last year, still has had 66 murders this year so far.
73 illegal firearms have been seized in St. James since the imposition of the state of emergency. This is up from 63 during the same period last year. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has said the police have also recovered 3 times the amount of ammunition than they did during the same period last year. 4,500 rounds have also been recovered, and the Commissioner says this is indicative of the work being done under the ambit of states of emergency, including community interventions, building out intelligence networks, and including the investigations that are being done. Opposition spokesperson on national security Fitz Jackson is calling for more concrete steps to tackle the issue of crime. Mr. Jackson said yesterday that the declaration of a state of public emergency in Clarendon and St. Catherine again underscores that the government has no solution to combat the country's crime problem. In a statement yesterday afternoon, Jackson argued that wanton criminality has taken hold of sections of the country. He said there needs to be a proper and effective system of investigations and targeted approach to crime fighting. The Jamaica Cancer Society Executive Director Hewlett Gordon wants the government to craft a national policy to enable easier access to prostate cancer screening for all men over the age of 40. Gordon made the call at a Prostate Cancer Awareness Day event at the JCS's Lady Musgrave Road offices in St. Andrew, where they were offering free cancer screening. Prostate cancer has been the leading cause of cancer-related deaths among Jamaican men aged 40 and over, and September is dedicated to spreading awareness on the issue. 44 ganja licenses have been approved by the Cannabis Licensing Authority, the CLA. Some 288 conditional approvals have been given since its establishment back in 2015. The authority has received 658 applications from 287 applicants to date. President of the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, Diane Edwards, in making the disclosure, said the licenses granted includes 21 for cultivation, 13 for retail, 6 for processing, 3 for research and development, and 1 for transportation. She says the licenses under conditional approval stage are awaiting actions from applicants. Ms. Edwards was speaking at the media launch of Canex Jamaica Business Conference and Expo on Tuesday, September 4, at the Spanish Court Hotel in New Kingston. Schools across Jamaica are celebrating International Literacy Day today under the theme Literacy and Multilingualism. National Literacy Coordinator in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Dr. Andre Hill, said that the day, which is observed annually on September 8th worldwide, is part of UNESCO's efforts to emphasize the importance of literacy to individual, national, regional, and international development. UNESCO has been observing International Literacy Day since 1966, with special focus on educational programs to engage individuals in improving their levels of literacy. Be wary of the word unlimited. That's the word from the Fair Trading Commission, FTC. The Commission has launched a probe into unlimited plans being offered by telecommunications companies amid complaints about restrictions imposed on these plans. The FTC said it will be investigating based on the section of the Fair Competition Act that deals with misleading advertising. It said its probe will focus on advertisements promoting calling plans which are capped or which have other conditions and are referred to as unlimited or any similar word. The FTC said while using these plans, consumers discover that the plans are capped and they are prohibited from making calls, although the plans have not yet expired. The FTC is warning consumers to be particularly vigilant when the word unlimited is used in advertisements and to obtain full details of calling plans before purchase. It's Friday, so let's see where our appetite takes us this week on Culinary Trails.
Hi guys, so it's evening out and I'm meeting up with my bestie Anna. We decided to try cuisine from a different culture. So we're taking a trip to Japan. We're right here at East Japanese. Come on guys, I'm already late.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to East Japanese Restaurant.
Hi.
Dining for two?
Yes, I'm here to meet my friend Anna.
Okay, this way.
All right, thank you. Anna, baby! Ah, you're finally here. You took so long. I'm so sorry to be late, but this restaurant is so nice. I like the fact you can dine outside, or you can come here and do demos.
Right, and there's somewhere behind there too.
Yes, I want to go over there, but let's see what they're going to make for us right here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. How was the traffic? The traffic was good coming up here? Really? All right, all of this looks so yummy. What are you looking at? Yeah. Oh, look at this barbecue beef roll. That's nice. Cooked sea eel with cucumber, avocado, eggs, flying fish roll, fish cake, and steamed shrimp. That looks yummy. is here, and Anna is going to graciously teach me how to use chopsticks, because in Japan, this is what they used to eat. So, instruct away.
Okay, so you need your thumbs and your index to be on the first finger.
Like this.
Right. And as long as you can have the tips touching, you nailed it.
Wait, let me put my thing.
Right. So just once you can do this, that means you can pick up the food.
All right, let me try.
Dessert was delicious strawberry cheesecake and a deep-fried banana cake with ice cream. East Japanese is located at Marketplace in St. Andrew. The owner, Taka, visited Jamaica in 1989 and loved our music and culture. By 2001, he was working here and opened his first restaurant a few years later.
Opened the restaurant in 2004
Where was it? Where was the
at
first
the
one?
marketplace.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
this is the first one.
This is the first one.
But I understand that you have more than one
Right now,
Japanese
five
now.
different kind of place. Yes.
Wow.
Noodle shop and lounge bar. Name is East Next Door. We keep Friday, every Friday, keep like a very interesting retro party at the 11 o'clock to in the night, 3 a.m. Yes.
Wow, wow.
And okay, lounge restaurant is up Stony Hill side. Name is Majestic Sushi and Grill.
Oh, I've heard about Majestic
You know that?
Sushi and
Yeah.
Grill.
And mid over Kingston, at the near the King's House.
Okay.
Name is Annex East Japanese.
Wow.
Yes.
The menu was done with Jamaican and American taste in mind, but it's still based in Asian roots.
Which one on the menu would you say is authentic Japanese recipe, a dish?
Meaning like
Real Japanese dish.
Oh,
Which one on
real.
your menu would you say is a real Japanese dish?
very simply, but like assorted sushi platter also, and like teriyaki chicken also, and like a fried shrimp tempura also. That's a traditional style. Yes.
Well, I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm interested Oceanside also. I want to open the restaurant. Yeah.
So you're going
No,
downtown?
No, not now, but I want. I hope.
Dream big,
I
dream
wish.
big, dream big. Anna, I knew I'd find you up here. What are you looking at?
These are candy.
Oh, these are so cute.
I've never seen this anywhere but in here.
Ooh, cookies filled with strawberry cream. Okay, I say we get 2 of these to go. Are you ready to go?
No.
I know, it's so much fun, but we can always come back next week. How's about that? All right, so let's get it.
The US dollar on Thursday, September 5, ended trading at a Jamaican $138.23, up by 44 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. It also stated that the Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaican $105.26, up from $104.79, while the British pound sterling ended trading at Jamaican $168.81, up from $167.24. In regional news, the United Nations will be releasing $1 million in the aftermath of the devastation left behind by Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas. UN Relief Chief Mark Lowcock traveled to the Bahamas on Wednesday. Lowcock said he told the Bahamian Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis that he would release $1 million immediately from the Central Emergency Response Fund to deal with exactly the set of priorities that he has identified. And as the death toll continues to rise, officials in the Bahamas are sending teams into the affected islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama to store the dead. On Thursday, Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands predicted that the death toll from Hurricane Dorian will be staggering.
On Wednesday night, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis reported that the official death toll had reached 20. By Thursday afternoon, it stood at least 23. Health Minister Sands said, quote, "Make no bones about it, the numbers are going to be far higher than 23. It is going to be significantly higher than that. It's just a matter of retrieving those bodies and making sure we understand how they died. It may seem as if we are splitting hairs. There are only particular people that can declare persons dead, and until such persons are declared dead, they cannot be recorded as official deaths," end quote. Asked to estimate how many people perished during a Hurricane Dorian, Sands declined to guess, but he said, quote, "I believe the number will be staggering. I have never lived through anything like this, and I don't want to live through anything like this again," end quote. Scores of people have been injured as well, and the health minister said government does not have the capacity to deal with this health crisis. It has therefore called on the World Health Organization, among other organizations, for help. Sands said 3 additional mini-hospitals will be taken into Abaco and Grand Bahama, and there will also be 50 additional doctors sent in to provide acute, long-term and psychological care.
Another concern for the Bahamian officials is that of looting. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis addressed the issue at a press conference on Thursday.
Bahamians are distressed that anyone would loot and further the suffering of those affected by this tragedy. This is a terrible disregard for the safety and security of others. Be warned. We will prosecute looters and other lawbreakers to the full extent of the law. We are a country of law. I have mobilized the full resources of the government for search and rescue missions in both Abaco and Grand Bahama. To reinforce security on these islands, additional police and defense force officers have already been deployed.
Prime Minister Minnis, who was speaking Wednesday night after an initial air assessment of Grand Bahama, said about 150 soldiers from the Jamaica Defense Force will also assist in maintaining safety and security in the 2 affected islands, which he said had been left with what he described as generational devastation. And despite the destruction, Prime Minister Minnis sought to assure that tourism was very much open in other islands of the archipelago, and he urged visitors to keep coming.
Let me advise the international press and potential visitors that New Providence, Paradise Island, and the other islands of the Bahamas are open to receiving tourists and guests. One of the best ways that people from around the world can show their support and solidarity with the Bahamas at this time is to visit our other islands by air or by cruise ship to keep our economy strong. In order to help with recovery and reconstruction, we will need to keep our booming tourist economy vibrant. We must keep our economy strong and resilient in order to bring help in the rescue and recovery of those in need.
One survivor from the Abaco Islands tells his story. The 38-year-old man who lost his son as they fled the winds and floodwaters brought by Hurricane Dorian. Guardian News Network Jillian Gray has that story.
A father recounted the terrifying moments his 5-year-old son was swept by destructive tides from the roof of a home in Murphytown, Abaco, as Hurricane Dorian crushed homes, uprooted trees, flattened churches, and buried the town he once called home in a watery grave. 38-year-old Adrian Farrington, who injured his right hand and leg during the ordeal, has been recovering at the Princess Margaret Hospital since Monday. His son, Adrian Jr., disappeared under the mounds of debris that floated on top of the water sometime on Sunday and hasn't been seen since.
I just hope they find him. I just hope they find him. Because a 5-year-old in that kind of search, I mean, they don't stand much a chance.
Farrington said his family, including his wife and their 2 children, were forced to go into the catastrophic conditions after their home had become compromised. They sought refuge in a nearby home, but soon had to abandon that as well.
We had to exit that house and we went to higher ground to a different house, which had a manhole. Take my wife, take her son and my son. I put them up inside the manhole. We were safe there for a while till the water started to enter the manhole.
He said after he and his family abandoned a 3rd home, a piece of debris sparred his leg, hampering an already chaotic and tedious journey. As his leg bled and he struggled to stay afloat, his son held tightly onto his back. Farrington said he saw a truly horrific sight.
After about an hour of treading water and bleeding, I noticed I saw some fins swimming along the houses. So I grabbed my son and I put him on top of the roof. But before I could have sit on the roof to hold him, the gust from the hurricane dragged him across the roof, back into the surge on the next side. By the time I come down, try to move the breeze and get back around, I come on down and I couldn't see, so I was like feeling, see if I could feel some kind of claw, some kind of claws, some kind of skin, flesh, tennis, something. I find nothing. Come back up. I hold my breath and I come back down again. All this time, people carrying my wife to safety and they calling me, but I won't go because I didn't want to leave my son. Keep looking for him. I keep looking for him.
Exhausted and hopeless, Farrington said he took off again on his own, desperately trying to get to higher ground. But when he got there, he couldn't walk. Farrington said he had to crawl on his stomach towards a nearby church where about 8 to 12 people were seeking shelter.
The wall of the church was moving like when you put cloth on the line on a breezy day. So after I noticed the wall was shaking so much, I moved from a seated position to a standing position with the entrance of the door right there. And when I feel the wall pushing me, all I do is I hold on the wall and I get in the entrance of the door. And everybody else who's inside, they run to try to hold the wall. And I watch the wall and the roof crush everybody inside the church. There's a guy, I could have seen him. I tap on him, I ask him if he's okay. I ain't getting no response. I didn't want to stay there, so I creeped from there.
Farrington said he also watched as a man seemed to give up on life after the cries from his family who had been trapped inside a water-filled home dried up. But he said it's the last memory of his son that keeps him up at night.
I still can remember him reaching for me, calling me, "Daddy!"
Farrington, who weathered the elements for several hours until he was rescued, said no one could have prepared for the terror brought on by the killer storm.
The shelters where they send people crush people. Homes where they say was safe wasn't safe. Yeah, all right. The school where they say is a shelter, it ain't had no shelter because the roof get blown off. What the surge didn't destroy, the winds destroyed.
In sports, we look at athletics. Last week's Zurich leg of the IAAF Diamond League finals didn't increase the Jamaican team roster for the World Championships in Doha, Qatar. Things could be different, though, today in Brussels at the second half of the league final. If Shelley and Fraser Price and Daniel Williams win, Jamaica will be able to field an extra entrant into the 100 and 100 meters hurdles, 100 meters sprints in Doha. Success would crown Fraser Price and Williams winners of the Diamond League and would earn a wild card entry to Doha and a space for one additional Jamaican in their respective events. And still in athletics, Kemoy Campbell, the national record holder for the 3,000 meters, 5,000 meters, and 10,000 meters distances, has retired. Campbell announced his retirement on Thursday, almost 7 months to the day he collapsed at the 1,000 meters mark while performing pacing duties in the men's 3,000 meters race at the Melrose Games in New York. Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association President Dr. Warren Blake, while praising Campbell for the legacy he has left in local distance running, said he expected his retirement. However, he too believes that the 28-year-old has more to give to the sport in another capacity. In the weather report, at 4 a.m., the center of Hurricane Dorian was located near latitude 34.6 degrees north and longitude 76.2 degrees west. Dorian is moving towards the northeast near 22 kilometers per hour. On the forecast track, the center of Dorian will move near or over the coast of North Carolina during the next several hours, and the center should move to the southeast of extreme southeastern New England Friday night and Saturday morning, and then across Nova Scotia late Saturday or Saturday night. Maximum sustained winds have decreased to near 150 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Dorian is forecast to become a post-tropical cyclone with hurricane-force winds by Saturday night as it approaches Nova Scotia. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks so much for watching.